and continuing on with our walk. Well, walk is work. So this street is known as Topniška ulica, which literally means cannon street in the sense of artillery. Why? Further on there used to be so-called artillery barracks, which was built in the time of Austro-Hungary, and it was used as a military barracks still after the independence of Slovenia in 91, but a couple of years later, 94, 95, I don't know, basically in the first 10 years, first decade of Slovenian independence. So here all that, you know, empty space that you can see in the background, and I think also here that basically the complex was between Dunajska Street and this street, that all this was green light, was the complex of the artillery barracks, and yeah, so I still remember the building, you know, there was an iron gate all around. Yeah, I think it was the complex just this, you know, which is now paneled in. Yeah, probably just that. I still remember that iron fence that is all around it. But yeah, after independence, Slovenian military isn't so big, and it wasn't also in that time, in the first couple of years after independence. What we have 6,000-7,000 employed soldiers currently. So we have a professional army. So a lot of the old barracks, or some of the old barracks, were demolished or sold or turned over to the civilian, or sold and turned over. So in Ljubljana currently, if I remember correctly, so we have several barracks that were built in the era of Austro-Hungary, and now currently none of them, which were what, 3-4 of them, none of them are used as a military facility. So this artillery barracks was demolished. One was turned into like a museum complex, and another was in so yeah, I had to stop talking and drink some water. Okay, I was talking what, almost non-stop for an hour and a half. The throat was parched. So yeah, so here is the former complex of the artillery barracks, the Dunajska Road, and this long big structure behind us is, I don't know if you can hear me, is so-called Plečnikov Stadium. Plečnik Stadium because it was designed by Jože Plečnik, as I said earlier today, our most famous architect. So at first this was built as a, you know, sport facility, but it was basically, this place was reserved for the sport facilities. But then in the 30s there was an Eucharist Congress here, and it was, you know, developed further, and after that it was basically used as a, you know, soccer football stadium for several decades. So when I was a child, it was still open. It was the main, you know, soccer stadium here in Ljubljana. But, you know, due to, you know, FIFA regulations and so forth, and UEFA regulations, it wasn't, you know, suitable for the little obelix. It wasn't suitable anymore, so they built another stadium, which is basically very near to the faculty where we were previously, and they sold this stadium. You can see still the reference to the, you know, the Eucharist Congress, the cross and the heart. So yeah, after several years after the independence, they closed down the stadium. The new one was built, and basically now it was was sold to the private owner, and now it's basically a derelict. It's falling apart because, you know, there are some issues. It's a cultural monument of national significance, so it cannot be demolished. But there is some problems with people living around here, especially in those. Here you can see the main tribune, the main stand of the complex, stadium complex. So only the, you know, the guest, not the guest, VIP stand had the roof. All the other two or was the stands on all three sides? I don't remember exactly. I think I was once as a kid here at the soccer game match. But yeah, so yeah, now it's basically falling apart, and here is the, I hope that you can see, the auxiliary soccer field. which cannot be used, of course, for, you know, the international matches. So yeah, another piece of Slovenian architectural legacy that is falling apart due to constraints regarding, you know, heritage protection, public and private interests, and so forth. What else can I say? So basically we are nearing to the Celovška road, which you all know from our videos, where we basically walk every morning and evening. I think like 10 minutes until we reach there. Yeah, as I said in previous videos, I'm walking because, you know, all the public transportation is shut down, so all the buses stopped working, and I think that also stopped the railway. Railway traffic for passengers, that only, you know, cargo railway transport is still allowed. Still some more old buildings, and yeah, so the taxis are only form of public transportation that is still allowed, but the taxi drivers have to clean, disinfect their cars after every fare, every passenger, every trip, and of course have to wear the protection gear, so masks and gloves, and yeah, but yeah, you can still see some of taxis working, driving around, but I think a lot of them, if they don't have to, they don't work. And yeah, I could use a bike, you know, bicycle to go to the faculty, but I had to took it out, cleaned it, you know, pump the tires, loop all the parts, and I don't have, you know, patience for that. Plus, I'm used to walking, and I am also finding out, and here we are nearing to the church. So basically we will do a complete circle around the church. Yeah. So yeah, I realized, you know, for Christmas I got this, you know, watch / monitor of my, you know, physical activities, and if I usually on a, you know, average working day with all of the you know, morning and evening walk with TJ and Lisa, and, you know, going to the work and walking around the faculty, or going to, you know, to the store to get lunch and so forth. I usually would do around 10,000 steps per day. Now that I'm basically working from home, I am missing at least 4,000 to 5,000 steps per day, because usually we do for our walk, for our morning and evening walk, is around 5,000 steps together. Earlier this week TJ had I don't know, a very he had basically a drive to walk further, and basically we were doing 4,000 steps per walk, so 8,000 per day. But yeah, this morning TJ was actually quite tired, and we basically done just 2,000 steps. Yeah, so I said, yeah, basically I will walk to the faculty, do some good for my health, and also get some footage for you guys. So here in this underpass you can see the 1988 reference or graffiti. So 1988, so 1988 is a reference to the formation of the soccer fan. This is 1107, which I will explain later. So 1988 is the reference for the year of founding of the soccer fan club, the Green Dragons. So yeah, and here in Ljubljana, the Green Dragons, we are all in the crest of the city, and the municipality is the Green Dragon, so that's why we are Green Dragons. But some of the, let's say, rival cities or clubs refer to us as the swamp people, because part of the Ljubljana in history, well, it was swamp, and that's why they called us Mučverniki, some rival fans. And yeah, you basically can already see the space where the Celovška is. As you can see, there is still some traffic on the roads, people still going around. So regarding masks and gloves, I know I'm currently not wearing any, so that I can talk easier, and of course I'm not infected, don't show any symptoms. Currently there is only the directive or mandate that when you are wearing that you have to wear this protective equipment gear when you are inside of the public buildings, or officially known as closed-in public areas. So yeah, they still didn't enforce, and I think they will not enforce wearing of, you know, masks in public areas, you know, outside, because, you know, there is a large demand for such masks. You basically cannot buy them anywhere. This week and last week there was a big call for our companies to start making, you know, washable masks, and people and the companies and also individuals already started doing that. And then you have price for them is the church. The price for them is not the church, but its range I have seen from 3 euros to 12 euros, you know, plus shipping, of course. So yeah, it's quite a problem to get. Of course, you basically cannot get disposable masks in any store. You can order it, you know. Postman just left his trolley behind. Here is this building is music school. Glazbena šola Franca Šturma. Franz Sturm Music School, so it's a public school. And yeah, and we can already see Celovška Street Road. And here is the offices or the headquarters of the Union of Societies of Deaf and Near Deaf People of Slovenia. So most likely I will just film until we get to the road, because I don't know how much longer the battery will last, and we already have done several videos of us walking along the Celovška Street Road. Yeah, I always mixed up. And you could see the exchange of supplies. Here is the Dom narodnega heroja Ljuba Šercerja, home, basically you know, community building of national hero Ljubo Šercer. He was a World War II partisan. And some memorial plaques for the fallen gymnasts, or not professional gymnasts, basically members of the local gym, you know, society, or sports society, as it was known, working out society, that got killed during the Second World War. Yeah, so several 20 years ago, they built, well, renovated this building. And yeah, in front of us is one of the more iconic buildings in whole of Žižka, with all of this, you know, overgrowth on it. You can see it's completely, almost completely overgrown. So yeah, you can see how thick it is. So if I remember correctly, it used to be completely covered here to the, you know, street level, but they then cut it. This is one of the newer buildings. So here was basically an empty lot, you know, unofficial park to walk the dog. But yeah, then they built this building just by the second music school, also public music school here in Žižka. And perhaps I will just keep talking. We have basically what, 500-600 meters until our house. Perhaps I will just stop recording here in case the battery dies out and I lost the film, so that I at least have something of the footage. So yeah, well, basically this, as I said, Glazbena šola Franca Šturma. So basically this is the main office, the main building, and that other buildings that we have seen before is additional buildings. So they are not two separate music schools, but basically one music school, but in two buildings. So this is Smrekareva ulica. So Smrekar Street, named after, let's say, the most famous resident that was living in this area. So Hinko Smrekar, he was an illustrator, you know, cartoonist and so forth, and got killed during the Second World War. And also my home, my primary school is named after him. You know, some people are still out, which is fine. We still have this, you know, jumbo advertisements for the Atalaya Center, which is still not opened, and we don't know when it will be opened due to the coronavirus. As we can see today, quite a lot of people are wearing masks. Where they got them, I don't know, and gloves and so forth. Police is patrolling more and more. I already said that for 3 days now, for the future, in the future. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, police will be doing more and more surveillance regarding movement in the public areas, especially, you know, when you're in the group. And we also get a lot of new graffiti. This one says "Elite v karantino," which means elites into the quarantine. So, you know, our political activists slash artists are still doing their part, and as I said before, you know, more and more discarded gloves and masks around, you know, another glove. Yeah. But I will say, basically it feels like a regular day. Perhaps even more people are outside walking or on bikes, and perhaps a little less traffic, you know, car traffic. It doesn't have, you know, the feel of any major upset to the people's life. And this is a new thing, you know, coverall for footwear. So yeah, you can see basically everything outside. Well, at least I have done what now, basically good 2 hours of walking, and I hope that you enjoy this walk. With this forced walk that you have to take, well, watch alongside me. And yeah, I'm basically on the last bar of the battery. So with this, I'm signing off, and we will see you later.